Well, hello there people. Welcome to the video. And, obviously, welcome to the channel. If you're brand new, subscribe to the channel. If you're still one of the oldest, some of the fans from prior episodes of these videos that I do, welcome back. Anyway, today we're talking about Nintendo, the #1 gaming company out there. Yeah, well, I say #1. There's other gaming companies out there, but it's Nintendo. And Nintendo are Nintendo. And today we'll be talking, well, I say we, I mean I, will be talking about the next Nintendo console. Or, in other words, what everyone is knowing as the Switch's successor. So, what would I like to see when it comes to the new console once it arrives soon? The first thing that I would like to see with the new console is obviously much better graphics. We've had some really good graphics with Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, as well as Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, as well as other games on the Switch that had some pretty decent graphics, but like ones that are even more enhanced than we could ever think. Perhaps even graphics with ray tracing in them would be absolutely amazing to see when it comes to consoles. I would definitely love to see better graphics in the games. And still sticking on the theme of the games, the chance to play different games from different Nintendo console eras, so such as the NES, the SNES, so yeah, like Nintendo Entertainment System, Super Nintendo Entertainment System, DS, 3DS, Wii, maybe, I don't know, like some form of like way to possibly play some of the original classic games. Whether or not that's just like digitally downloadable, or maybe like they get their own little enhancement updates and stuff, get a bit of a remaster and stuff. But yeah, I'd definitely love to see some classic games being playable on this new console, which is something I've been waiting to see happen with Nintendo. I mean, we've had it a few times already with the Switch. I mean, the most recent one to launch with remasters was Luigi's Mansion 2. Of course. So, yeah, Luigi's Mansion 2, obviously, is the most recent remastered game. And that was a 3DS game, was Luigi's Mansion 2. In fact, there's many different rumours flying around about other games as well that could be potentially launching on the next console, which I'm going to touch on now. Yes, because we're staying on the tone of games, and some of the theorised games that may potentially launch for this upcoming new Nintendo console. So, everyone has been wanting a sequel to Super Mario Odyssey, so I've got to mention that theory that people are saying that that might happen with the next console. Another theory that's been flying around and people have been wanting or requesting to come back is Super Mario Maker. Of course, especially more Super Mario Maker 3, adding more better sets for each making scheme, having some more 2D games and 3D games mixed in to the Mario Maker 3. Of course, would be really, really good. I mean, so far we've only got one 3D game in Super Mario Maker already, in Super Mario Maker 2, which is Super Mario 3D World. So, yeah. I mean, having more mixed vibes and new features, new course level designs and stuff would be really cool. So, yeah, Mario Maker 3, people are wanting that. Another thing that people have been wanting and have been requesting for quite a while now, Tomodachi Life. I have to touch on that. Cannot miss it. Tomodachi Life. So many people have been requesting for this game and Nintendo have ignored it for a long time. It's been 10 years since Tomodachi Life launched on the 3DS, and people are literally begging for a Tomodachi Life sequel. So I hope they do that for the next Nintendo console. They definitely have to. They've also requested to do... so there's some of the requests of different games that they want to see. I believe there might be some more out there that people have been requesting to have. But yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to giving the next console a try, either way. Doesn't matter what game it is. Definitely hope Tomodachi Life drops, because I've been waiting for that for far too long. Jumping out of gaming now, we're going to talk about some of the main features of the console. And one thing I would definitely like to see feature-wise for this console is more storage. A lot more storage. I don't know the storage rate for the Switch, but this one must have a bit more bigger storage. I mean, with Xbox Series X and S as well as PlayStation 5, we have 1 terabyte of storage on those. So maybe something like that, having a terabyte, or maybe even 2 terabytes of storage, something like that. Having a lot more storage on the console so we can store more games to the console and stuff would be a really cool thing to add. So another thing that I would like in features is apps. Different apps. Some apps that you can get on your phone, have them be featured on the new console would be a really cool idea. Obviously, app-wise, right now, we have a few. I know YouTube is on the Switch, because I've got it. You're having things like YouTube, Netflix, Hulu, whatever, Apple TV, Paramount Plus, you know, Disney Plus, things like that, like different streaming apps as well as normal little game apps as well that you can just play on for a bit of fun would be really good to have on the new console. So I hope they do that and have more apps to play. And one big feature that people have been begging Nintendo to bring back, the Miis. The frickin' Miis. Everyone's been wanting them to come back. It seems like the Switch had just killed off the Miis, and the Miis are only there for your profile. When it says we as people have been requesting that we have more games involving the Miis, and still keeping the Miis around. I mean, the Miis were one of the well-known characteristics of the Wii era, obviously, but it was one of the most successful profile-y stuff that we had back then, and it was a huge success to the point that everyone loved the creation of the Miis. So I hope they don't kill it off. We need more Miis. We need to bring the Miis back. Definitely need to bring them back. 100%. Another feature that I would love to see, if there's like a special charging station or something for the console, LED lights. Having the chance that when like it's in the charging station or whatever, like if it's similar to the Switch or whatever it might look like when you put it in a station, like for example a Switch dock, like if you put it in there and it's on charge, you have these like LED lights that glow or that light up when it's on charge. Like it might be one colour while it's charging and then another once it's full. Like similar to like how the DS and stuff went, where when it was full charge, I'll take the 3DS for example, like when it was full charged the light was blue and then it turned to this like orangey reddish sort of colour, I think, when it needed charging. Something like that would be really cool. So like have some LED lights on the actual console as well as like any charging stations if they're going to do that. I don't know, but I would definitely love to see that. Another thing I would want to suggest is an easy way to open the cartridge point of each game. So the cartridge spot for the Switch is really hard to open up. So we need something quite easy to open up. Whether it's just a lot of press of a button and the little cartridge lid just pops off after pressing a little button. Easy, simple. Keep it simple and keep it an easier way to get the lid off of a cartridge point to knock off. I'll show you what I mean. So this here, right here, is the Switch cartridge, game cartridge. As you can see, it's got this little line. Right, that's where you're supposed to open it. Now, I don't have long nails, so even people with long nails have had trouble trying to open this little cartridge spot in the Switch. Now, this is the Switch OLED I've got in my hands, so yeah, like that little game cartridge is so annoying to open up. So if they had like a little button next to it, like maybe there or something, like if you press it, like the lid will just pop up. And then you can just take your cartridge out, put another one in, easy peasy. Compared to what the Switch is, which is just annoying to get it open. So, yeah. Another thing that I liked about the Switch OLED is the table mode with the little table stand. It's more flexible and it's bigger compared to the original Switch that was just far too tiny. And it wasn't really that stable. So with like the flexible support for the table stand, it was much easier to use the Switch on a table when it came to things because it was much bendier and much longer. So if it's supposed to like replicate the Switch, something like that would be really cool for the console. So with that aside, let me move on to another interesting feature I would like to have in this console. Similar to the Switch, an ability to convert like games that you enjoyed to play on the Switch, like convert them over to the new console so you can play them even without having the cartridge. Like, even if you've got the cartridge on you from the Switch games, like, once you convert it, you can even play it digitally without even having to put the cartridge in. That would be really cool. Although, I doubt that would happen. I'm not sure. But something like that would be really awesome. To have, like, the chance that once you convert, like, any saved data onto the new console from your Switch, like, having the chance to play the games without putting the cartridge in would be really cool. Even if you've got the cartridge, you can still put the cartridge in, or you can just do it without and play it digitally. Would be absolutely awesome. Another feature I would like is actual proper controllers. Like, for example, the Xbox controllers. Something like that. Like, I know they've already got them with, like, the Pro controllers for the Switch, but something just like that would be good, especially with the button layout, because it's absolutely terrible. I hate Nintendo's button layout. I'll show you now what I mean. So this is the Xbox controller's button layout, and that's how that looks. And this is one of the Switch's third-party Pro controllers. And the button layout on that, it's absolutely terrible. I hate it. I prefer the Xbox's button layout compared to the Switch's. it's like so annoying, and I can't even control it. Like, I'm so used to like the Xbox button layout compared to the Switches. So I would prefer having like a similar button layout to that of the Xbox, where currently the B is, that would go to A, where the A is, that would be B, where the Y is, that would be X, and where the X is, that would be Y. Exactly the same as the Xbox controllers. Even like more adjustable chance for the analog sticks would be really cool. Like, these analog sticks are quite thin. Like, I feel like they're quite thin. So maybe like have somewhat thicker analog stick, like the Xbox ones do. It's a bit of a thicker analog stick, a bit wider compared to that controller, if you sort of get it. I mean, the D-pad is good. I like the D-pad. I mean, obviously, the D-pad style of the Xbox controller I'm not a huge fan of, but you can still tell it's a D-pad, obviously. But having like something similar to like the Xbox thing, where like you have the logo for the console's thing, like the console logo there, like up here, that could be like to take the console home. That'll be like for your menu, like the 3-line thing that's on this Xbox controller will be like for your menu. Usually like that, this one here is like to see different windows of different games. Like something like that could be really cool. And maybe like something like that could open the library of your games that you've got on the console. You can just launch your games from inside that library. Would be really cool. And it makes the homepage much tidier as well. Having your own little library of lists of games that are on there would be really cool. And of course, this button you usually hear on the Xbox controller is for screen captures. You can either just press it once to do like screenshots, and like hold it long to do like video captures. So some form of like similar layout to like an Xbox controller, for example, would be really cool for the next console's controllers. It would be way more easier and way less confusing compared to this button layout, because it's absolutely terrible. I hate the button layout of the Switch. I prefer Xbox's. Battery life definitely needs to be in there. Have a longer living time to play your games. Have the controller have way more power to keep going for way longer than it usually does. I'm not too sure on the time log of when it goes. I'll just double check and see how long it usually goes. Usually it takes about 3 to 9 hours. Depends on like how much you play of it. So max up to about 9 hours of power until the console is dead and ran out of charge. So having a much longer time to play your games would be really cool. And another thing that would really work really cool is what I'm going to mention now. So we're back with the controller thing, and having a chance to charge the controllers, maybe not like not as like an extra like accessory that you can do to like charge the controller, but have it come with the console would be really cool. And you just slide the controller into its little charging station, and it just recharges the controller ready to be used for another day. Would be really cool. Rather than getting it separately and buying it separately, having it with the console would be really cool. Or maybe even like for the charging station of the actual console, maybe it has an expansion to it where you can just slide in the controllers and let them charge separately from the actual console itself could be also a very interesting feature. Either one or the other. Have them separate, have a separate charge station for the controller, and then its very own charge station just for the console, or maybe just have them both together as one big charging station would be really cool. Another feature I've heard people talk about is much more accurate play times. So, like, when it comes to the Switch, it usually times how long you've played a certain game. When it comes to profile stuff, it like gives you a list of estimatedly how long you've spent playing a certain game and which ones you most played and stuff. Having that be more accurate in like the order of stuff, you know, having it more accurate to your timing that you've played that exact game for. Maybe like it does it on the daily, like how much time you spent on that game each day that you play the console would be really cool. Another thing I would really like to see is something very interesting. I would like to see the new console have some form of feature where when you log into the console each day, you get like a little award thing, or you can get like award tokens and stuff, and you can use those award tokens and like use them for like getting Nintendo gift cards, and like use those tokens to like pay for games on the eShop or something like that. Like use certain award tokens to like buy games online on the eShop, or like to use them to like enhance your homepage, like to have different backgrounds for your homepage and things like that, like award points for buying games, home background images and stuff like that. Have like some form of reward thing for each time, not only that you log in, but maybe if you like win an achievement in like a game, it also gives you tokens, all these like reward tokens that you can use. That would be something interesting as well. I'm just waffling on with this, but like something like that could be really cool, like a reward point thing. Like you get like these reward tokens that you can use to get your games, theme your homepage to whatever you like, and other things like that. Stuff like even perhaps like use them to like change your profile stuff and things like that. Just like award tokens, and even if you complete a certain achievement in a game, you can even get tokens from completing that said achievement. So let's say, I don't know, usually Xbox point wise, I'm going to use Xbox as an example. Let's say Xbox wise, you complete a Mario achievement, and for the Xbox it's like 10 points. Like if that was within the Nintendo console, you get 10 reward tokens for completing that said achievement. Something like that would be also cool. And you can use that to your advantage to get your games or have different themes for your homepage and stuff. And maybe even have them for the chance to do things in a game would be somewhat interesting as well. And of course, I'm going to talk chargers. Chargers, it will be USB-C, just like the Switch. It will definitely be somewhat of a USB-C charger, because a lot of devices now are just using the USB-C chargers. So it'll be exactly the same, a USB-C charger to like charge your console if you're doing it portably. So you get your own charger as well as your little charging station for if you're at home. And of course, you can't go wrong, a chance to have your new console connect to your TV, so you can see it on a bigger screen and you can play your games on your own television at home like you can with the Switch. That feature definitely has to be in there. And one thing everyone hated about the Switch was the fact that it had no music for the homepage and stuff. Like, similar to how, like, previous consoles had, like, different little theme tunes to go with their homepages and stuff. Like, having something like that would be really, really cool to add to the next console. It's like how the Wii had its own little theme in there, so did the 3DS. Having some little catchy theme tune in the background of your homepage or whatever could be a really cool theme to have, which is something that like the Wii and 3DS had, for example. Something like that would be also pretty awesome, and some people have stated that they'd like to see that return to the Switch consoles. And of course it won't just be Switch consoles, but also the new ones, like maybe in the future they could have different music themes. But other than music themes, like having different music themes get downloaded from your games, like once you've experienced a different one, maybe like say if you like one of the soundtracks from in your game, you can like find that soundtrack, and you know how I mentioned like the token thing earlier, like you could use that and download some of your favorite soundtracks from in a game. That could be really cool as well, and you can add like your own different theme songs to the homepage along with, and then obviously you'll have its default as well if you want to reset it, so you can like change your theme of music to your homepage and stuff, which could be also very cool. And why do I say all this? Because I'd like to see people being able to customize the look of their console based on what they want. So it will be more self-customizable, like the home pages and stuff will be more acquainted to their own things, and they can just design the homepage in whatever way they want. Like, just being more customizable for people. Rather than having, like, the boring stuff that they had with, like, the Switch, where you just had this little white screen or this little black screen, you could, like, just customize and have your own different styles for the homepage and stuff, which would be much more awesome than usual. So, something like that would be actually really nice to see. And one thing that I don't like about the Switch is the Switch Online thing. That online thing should be free in the next console. Like, having it free to download or free to join would be much better. Maybe if you want a premium edition or something, you can pay for it, but like having your own chance to actually join it for free as well would be interesting. Another thing which you can do in like Xbox consoles and stuff is the chance to have chats, party chats and stuff. Like, you can invite your friends and you can talk to your friends with a gaming headset like you can with the Xbox and stuff. That would be really cool to see for the next console. Something like that would be absolutely awesome. And even chance to even message your friends just by typing messages or doing voice chat messages and stuff, even outside of a party, would also be really cool as well to use in the next console. And it will feel more like a normal standard console would do, like the Xbox or the PlayStation, for example. And one thing that definitely needs to happen: get rid of any stupid, rubbish games. The amount of terrible games I've seen listed on the Switch is absolutely awful. Just get rid of them. Make better games. Just make ones that are keeping audiences more interesting. Who wants to play a game about poo? Like, not as in, like, the character Winnie the Pooh. Actual, like, feces. Who wants to do that? They're even thinking of doing a Skibidi Toilet video game. No, I don't think anyone would want to play that. Like, we've got these, like, cringy anime games and rubbish. It's just get rid of them for those that don't like them. Have a more customizable chance to like promote games that people are actually going to be interested in based on like the games that they're currently playing and stuff. That would be actually kind of cool. So having more customizable chance to obviously have interests in different games that that are within their like have some form of similarity to the games they're already playing would be actually a really cool feature for like a recommended set of games. Kind of like what they do with like Xbox Store and stuff. Like they usually can base like their recommended games on like other games that you're playing currently on the console. Something like that would be pretty interesting. And some people have said that they've had this issue in their Switch where sometimes if they're downloading a new game, it takes a little too long to install it to the console. So having a lower waiting time to have a game download to the console would be much better for the new console, instead of just waiting forever for the game to be installed. Which is like something I have experienced myself once on the Switch. I've experienced something quite similar on my Xbox, believe it or not, and that was when I got Resident Evil 8 on my Xbox. I ended up waiting 58 hours for the game to be installed to my Xbox. 58 hours. So having like a chance to have a very quick download rate on the new console definitely has to happen. I mean, I know like for the Xbox and stuff, it's based on your internet connections and stuff. But even without internet connections, still have a fast download rate. Another feature, Bluetooth. Having the chance that you can connect the console to your Bluetooth headphones, or like a Bluetooth speaker, or whatever. Like, have that sort of featured within the console. Maybe if you don't want to hear the noise on the TV, you can just put your Bluetooth headphones on and then just listen to the game's music and stuff. Like, even if you're going portable, like, have your Bluetooth headphones on, and while you're walking around or while you're around playing on your game, you can hear it through the headset by connecting it with the Bluetooth thing. So having Bluetooth would be really cool for the next console. I don't think I can come up with any more ideas. There'll be probably way more out there. But if you have any other ideas that you would like to see featured in the next console, put them in the comments section, and maybe I'll do a part 2 on this. If there's any good ones out there, definitely I'll do one. So put any comments for any ideas that you think I missed out on, and I might do a part 2 to this. But that's it for now. See you all in the next video. Bye!